Film development hell, day 64, working on a holiday. The grind never ends is the name of this video. Why? Well, my name is Deborah Richards, and I am an independent film director from Las Vegas. And I'm currently in development of my third feature film. It's a horror set in Texas in the mid-'80s, and it's called Scissor Mouth. And so here we are at 1905 Film Studios in the heart of Las Vegas. Sitting behind me is producer Patrick Wirtz. And we have now been in development of Scissor Mouth for about a year and a half, and things are really heating up, and it's getting very exciting because we're getting to that phase of crossing over from from development to pre-production. And one of the big things I have to do today is I have to start finding a DP that I want to collaborate on with this movie. There's also a million other things to do. My list is never ending. I got to check out last week's on the big list over here and refresh that. It is Monday morning here in Las Vegas. So, and it feels like a Monday because look, my desk is a mess. I got mail, I got contracts, I got all kinds of things that I have to catch up on. But as you guys know, nothing happens without coffee. Cheers. Yummy, yummy. So I think it's time for Patrick and I to check in and make a whole new list of chores because a lot of our recent chores we got done. Hi, Cookie. Oh, and before we have this meeting, I just got to show you how cute Cookie's little yellow bow is, which matches my little do-rag. So, okay. I got a zillion things I got to put on my list. I don't know if they affect you or not, Pat. Okay, first thing I got to do is update my calendar. Update cal. I have to find a DP. I also have to find a PD, a production designer for this movie. Now, Pat, I'm thinking for director of photography for Scissor Mouth.
Sure.
We need to find someone that is higher on the ladder than us.
Yes.
We need to find someone who is essentially doing us a favor.
Yes.
Not necessarily so on the production designer. We can find a production designer who's trying to get to that next level.
Right.
But I think with a DP, it's really important that we find someone who is slightly above our level so that they can elevate us and ensure the look of the movie. Pat, holler out any of the things that you got going on so I can put them on your list.
I need to contact the Bartender Magazine guy. I forgot.
Didn't they put it on the front of their website anyway? Wasn't that what you showed me the other week?
No, that
was something else?
I think that was something else.
Okay. Contact BT Mag. Okay, I have to, I'm going to purchase the hard drive, okay?
Okay.
I know I asked you to do it, but I might as well just take that off your chores. So, buy a hard drive. And guys, buying a hard drive, this is a big hassle. Because if you saw my videos last week, you will have known that Shaken and Stirred, our last movie, our documentary, is spread out over 4 drives, 2 drives for the data, 2 drives to back it up. And one of the backup drives was acting cranky a couple months ago, and it wouldn't mount on the computer. And then miraculously last week it started working, so I thought all our woes were over, but then it stopped working again. So I gotta buy a 10 terabyte hard drive. Much to my dismay. Okay, I've got to, we have some things we have to review. We got to review Rob's materials. Yeah. Review Rob's deck. That's something we can do together. I have to follow up with Igor about Tales of the Cocktail for the screening. I have to follow up with Dean because now it's been a couple weeks to see how he's getting with the affiliate, how he's getting on with the affiliate program, how that's working out for him. I need to add an email capture on all our affiliates on Wix. I have to add Facebook links to our OTT. I have to review the copyright contract. And I have to review the, what's the other contract? Oh, the marketing assignment. The assignment contract. Assignment. Well, it's actually a distro contract. Distro contract. 1905. And then I also have to, we have to figure out what we want to do about the distribution contract from Turkey. As I see it, we have two options. Option A might be the less heavy-handed approach, and option A is us sending her back a contract with things redlined and alternatives and see how she reacts rather than saying, we tore up your contract, here's our contract. Maybe, which approach do you think is better? To say, here's our version of the contract?
Yeah, I think that's the best version.
Rather than redlining hers and giving her an opportunity to say why?
I think hers was just like a template, English language template that she used because it didn't make sense, some of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to bring you guys up to speed on that, we got an offer of a distribution contract from a company in Turkey, and they sent over what we thought was going to be a term sheet, which basically isn't a contract, but it just kind of lays everything out in beats. But she actually sent a contract, and I don't think we liked that contract very much because there was a lot of issues with it. So we basically rewrote it ourselves, and
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I guess we're going to send that back, see what happens. Should we send her a term sheet first or just the contract?
Just the contract.
Copy that. Okay, so I
She
will.
sent to us, I mean.
Right, so I've got to get that to you, right? I don't think you have that.
Not from the changes, no.
Okay, so get Pat Turkey contract, and then you can send it out to her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna send Turkey contract. I like the way we're calling it Turkey contract instead of distribution deal. And then what else you got going on other than regular regular things that we do all the time?
I need to, we need to set up the folder and populate the folder with all the BTS videos that Rob wanted me to do.
Uh-huh.
I need to mail the poster to Barnett.
BTS VIDS back and mail poster.
I have to make sure that these are the two posters Hector needs that we have to give to Arturo. Is he even going to see Hector now that is?
Yeah, they hang out like
Okay.
3 times a week.
Okay.
And he's still going to compete.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I got the LOI from Johnny Pemberton, so I've got to send that to you to print to LOI. Or did you get it as well?
I'll print out the Scissor Mouth too. Give me, let me print out the Scissor Mouth.
Oh yeah, I want that very much so. LOI, Johnny Pemberton to Pat. Print Scissor Mouth.
Screenplay.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about, but I'll do it when I'm in front of the computer, is the weekly email for the 1905 Film Insiders. I've had a few thoughts on ideas for like quote unquote style guide, so that you and I are on the same page for that.
And I need to do this like next 2 days too because I leave on Thursday.
Where are you going Thursday?
It's my niece's graduation.
Oh, amazing!
In California.
Amazing. In San Diego? No, in LA.
Orange County.
Orange County. Amazing.
Be back on Sunday.
Amazing. I also have to. Let me see. I think that's about it.
For now, yeah.
For now.
But here's what you gotta do now. You gotta put this up.
So, do you want to tell people what it is? Explain. Explain to
If
YouTube.
you've been watching, you know we went to the C47 Film Festival in downtown Vegas in the Arts District, and we got to we showed our Scissor Mouth proof of concept short, and we got best prop design and best original concept. So it was fun, you know. So let's celebrate this win by putting it up on the wall here.
Okay, where do you want to put it on the wall?
I think below Shaken Stirred, and visually, I think it's the best.
Let's have a look. It was kind of cool though. Instead of a trophy at the C47 Film Festival, they gave us this a giant C47.
Explain what a C47 is. People don't know.
Oh, a C47 is what in the movie biz people call a clothespin. Because the legend is that once upon a time there was a producer who went apeshit about clothespins being on the budget. So the line producer changed the name of them to C47 to fool the producer. And ever since, clothespins have been called C47s.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Another thing for the things. Like all the things, all the movie stuff.
That's cool.
Pat, can we talk about finding a DP?
Okay.
So, as I was saying earlier, I think we need to find a DP that is above our level, that we can somehow convince that this project is worthy and please work with us.
Right.
Obviously not too crazy above our level, otherwise we're just tripping, right? So the only place I know straight off the bat to go look for DPs, obviously there's films that we can talk about in terms of looks, and I want to bring up some of the things that Marcus brought up the other night about the look of the movie. Obviously we can look at films and I can make a short list and then reach out to them through IMDb or whatever. But the only other place that I can think of to specifically look for DPs is actually on the Film Fatale's website. I believe they have a database.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of really good up-and-coming female cinematographers.
How do we find them?
Film Fatales.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first place I was thinking of looking,
Right.
on that database, and then having a look at some film. As far as the look of the film, you know, I was thinking because it's like a gothic fairy tale, I was kind of leaning towards the Legend of Jesse. Is it the Legend of Jesse James? The Outlaw Jesse James, the one where it's kind of like very vignette-y.
And the Coward. The one with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
and
the Coward. John
wasn't it
Ford.
Deakins? Roger Deakins did that.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, and it was very vignetted with a soft focus on the edges of the frame, which gave it a kind of fairy tale,
old-timey feel, yeah.
Old-timey, almost fairy tale feel. So that's one end of the spectrum, right? The other end of the spectrum is like very high grain, high saturation, high contrast.
I don't think that. I think that'll put people off.
Okay.
Yeah, I think modern day audiences, and I think.
And then the middle of that.
That'll put people off. They don't want something that feels artsy.
Not too artsy, but just gritty and very kind of like almost 70s. Like.
I think that stands for artsy today. Yeah.
Okay, well that's one end of the spectrum, very gritty, very soft and fairy tale like at the other, and then dead center would be realism. Like, for example, Pulp Fiction doesn't have a specific look; it just looks real.
Yeah, but I think remember The Beast Within?
Yeah.
I really like the look of that for horror.
But there's two major problems between The Beast Within. What's the biggest difference between The Beast Within and Scissor Mouth? Can you, like visually, can you tell me straight off the bat? Because I know.
It's mainly shot during the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Scissor Mouth is mainly shot during the day, and The Beast Within with Kit Harington is mainly shot at night.
Yeah.
Now, so what is it about the cinematography, that night cinematography, that you feel could translate to Scissor Mouth?
The darks are dark. The darks were dark. I like that, but still legible. I mean.
Well, that's just high contrast, right? Like darks being dark, brights being bright.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily that high contrast, but the look of the night scenes you felt there's mystery in those dark spaces.
In the dark spaces.
Yeah.
You see, one of the things that really appeals to me about Scissor Mouth is that it does all happen in daylight. And I specifically and purposefully wrote it that way because I think, okay, so while we know there's something inherently scary about not being able to see in that dark corner, I think it's equally scary when you can see everything, but still something comes out at you and hits you in the head with a hammer. I think that's terrifying because you can see everything and you should be able to see anything coming, but when you can't, that's what makes it scary. So, what other films other than The Beast Within can you think of that you think, oh, that's interesting cinematography that we should talk about with relationship to this film
Sinners.
that I haven't seen?
And the DP was female there. Was female too. She was
Right,
amazing.
but that's gonna be too out of our league.
Yeah, I know, but it was amazing. Like
So-
the afternoon scenes. I mean, the late afternoon sunlight. It just thinking of some of the themes and in our script. Yeah, that sort of orange glow.
I'll rattle off a bunch of movies in terms of vibe and looks that I like, and maybe I'll make a mood board. So Sinners, Beast Within. I can't really comment on Sinners because I haven't seen it. Let's go with Poor Things.
Okay, yeah.
Poor Things was very fairy tale like because they used very wide lenses. So
Like,
there was bits of distortion at the edge, and then they also used a very unusual lens that had a really, really heavy circular vignetting.
Well, I think the style was too artificial.
Yeah. It's right at one end of the spectrum for sure. I'm just vomiting some movies out that I think are worth. Eyes of My Mother.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But that's black and white.
That's black and white. So.
Right, but again, it was very Ansel Adams-esque in the exposure. In fact, in that same breath, you could even mention A Girl Who Walks Home Alone at Night. You know what I didn't like about the cinematography of The Beast Within?
What?
Is you were never really sure about the geography of the house. It seems like in order for them to fudge geographical space, they did a lot of insane close-ups.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that we might fall victim to that with Scissor Mouth if we're going to shoot this movie on location, which means I have a vision in my mind what the house looks like, but then we've got to have, a location scout find a place. And if we can't find exactly what we need, then maybe it will be a couple locations that we film a bit at each that makes up the one house. And if that's the case, then I can see, relying on close-ups as a crutch to kind of fudge that, from space to space. What are some other... Thelma and Louise. Okay? And I'll tell you why. And I think I'm remembering this incorrectly. But to me, the memory of Thelma and Louise...
Which I watch every year, so I know it really well.
...is a dusty, faded Americana, is dusty, Texas dusty... It's got that sunset, dusty, atmospheric...
I think you should watch it again.
I've got to watch it again.
The cinematography is much clearer than you're thinking.
I know so because I've looked at stills and I'm like, it doesn't look how I remember it. I remember it being very atmospheric and very dusty and very sunset and very warm.
Right.
But I've got to watch that again. Let's see. Cinematography. This is a good cue for the what's Spielberg's first movie?
Sugarland Express.
Sugarland Express, especially for all the Wayne and Darlene car scenes, because there's so much good stuff.
Yes, there's so much good stuff there.
In Sugarland Express
and
for
it's
the.
set in Texas too.
And it's set in rural Texas too. Okay, let's think of some other movies for reference points. Pearl.
Yes, I'm thinking if you want the 70s look, it's X obviously, but I think Pearl is more fitting for this film.
Well, Pearl is kind of like the similar setting, right? But the way Pearl looks is kind of almost like Pulp Fiction. It's very straight. It's dead in the center of. It's not hard and gritty. It's not soft and airy.
Uh-huh.
It's just what I call straight in the middle, which is reality.
Was that Ty West doing it himself too?
I think he was the DP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ty West, if you're listening, we'd love you DP. It'll get you in the DGA, I promise.
Yeah, well.
I think it's so funny that Ty West is not in the DGA. I want to know why. Why aren't you in the DGA, Ty West?
Yeah, our film will give you that push.
Our film will give you the push you need. Why aren't you in the DGA?
Well, speaking of it, I'll talk about PGA. Later.
Yeah, because what you were saying about PGA it spiked my interest, and I was like, am I eligible with 2 co-producer credits on features?
It also, those films have to be distributed well, so I'm not going to submit until after the Nevada Women's Film Festival. Yeah, that will help a lot your eligibility.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Let's can you think of, it doesn't matter how obscure, it doesn't matter, there's no right wrong answers, but movies we should be looking at for the cinematography for Scissor Mouth? We're both insane cinephiles, and we're coming up blank.
I know. I think that's why I think you should rewatch The Beguiled, because the cinematography there is perfect.
Okay.
The darks and the lights.
And that's mostly during the day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's mostly during the day, but it feels like you're in your own world because they did it.
What was that? 1974?
1970.
Oh, that early, 1970. That was Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, it was Don Siegel directed it.
Okay, I will rewatch that. What else? Marcus was saying the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but one of those Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, he likes the original Texas Chainsaw, which is really
gritty. And when we talk about gritty, we're really talking about like a lot of film grain.
Grain, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that might be too distancing for modern audiences.
Yeah.
And particularly for modern female audiences.
See, Pearl was very, very much digital, a digital look. Oh, another one that I think would be good? Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, I could see that.
Interesting enough, Brother, Where Art Thou was the first movie to ever use digital coloring.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You didn't know? And again, our friend Roger Deakins.
Joel and Ethan Coen.
Yeah.
Call us.
Huh?
Call us.
Call us.
Coen brothers.
Roger, call us back. Brother, Where Art Thou? And there are some movies that I really like the boldness of color, and I think they could have pushed it. Movies like Cherry. Movies like, what was that one with all the assassins and they're in Lake Tahoe? Smoking Aces?
I forget.
You never seen Smoking Aces?
Yeah, I did, but it doesn't really, it's not distinctive to me.
Really? I felt like the colors were very brash, saturation, heavy grain. I'm going to have a look at a trailer and see if I'm remembering it right. Sometimes I remember things and I get a vibe from them, and that vibe inspires me, but then when I go back to look at that original thing, it's nothing like how I remembered it. Smoking Aces. I feel like there's some really good color in that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Film Fatales database and find some names on there, and then find some films, and then start looking at them.
Right. And I say, hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you? We're making a movie. So guys, if you don't know what Film Fatales is, it's a really cool association. It's for women who have all directed at least one feature film. That's the barrier for entry. And I am a proud member of Film Fatales, and they've been incredibly supportive to my career. And they have a secret database. It's a spreadsheet of women in film who do every single role, from production design to DP to all of that. So I think I'm going to log in and have a look there and see what we can find. So, guys, this is the Film Fatale's website, and I am one of the directors listed on it. And unfortunately, I think they've deleted that spreadsheet. I don't see it anywhere. And I went to the FAQ, and they're like, if you want to contact another Film Fatale's member, then send an email and we'll facilitate an introduction. But they used to literally have a spreadsheet. That sucks. I'm going to poke around a little bit more on the website, see if I can find it. Damn, I can't find the spreadsheet on Gals and Gear either, so I just wrote to my friend who's the president of Gals and Gear, and I just said, hi, hope all is well with your magical self. Tell me if I'm imagining this, but didn't Gals and Gear once have a spreadsheet listing women in the industry and their crew positions? I feel like I came across it on the back end of the site at some point, but now I have no idea how to get hold of it again. I'm currently on the hunt for a DP and production designer for my next film, and that resource would be incredibly helpful if it still exists. Thank you so much in advance. Warmly, Debbie. Send. So, Patrick, is it even worth putting the cinematographer on our short list for from Sinners, or is she just like too above our league?
I think we should ask.
I think she's from England, because her management company is in England.
Okay.
Her name is Autumn Durald Arkapour. Why not? Let's reach out to her. Let's see. Can't hurt to ask. While doing a little research online, I've come across this cinematographer. It seems very interesting. Her name is Natalie Kingston. She's a member of the American Society for Cinematographers. She recently did Blackbird on Apple TV, and I'm looking at her website right now, and she's obviously the caliber of what we're looking for. So I think I'm going to go watch a little bit of Blackbird to get a feel for the cinematography. But a lot of these other shows look really impressive as well. Here, Pat, take a look at her website. This is Natalie Kingston. She's from LA. And she was the DP on Blackbird. You can see some of these projects that she's done.
Looks great.
Looks great.
She's capable.
Clearly, she's capable. Pat, I just drafted an email to Natalie's agent. Would you like to have a look? Or shall I read it to you?
Okay, read it to me.
Okay, hi, agent's name. I hope this finds you well. I'm reaching out to explore Natalie Kingston's potential interest in a visually driven feature film currently in development. Scissor Mouth is a twisted gothic horror set in rural Texas during the 80s, grounded in realism but heightened with stylized dread and fairy tale overtones. We've recently attached Johnny Pemberson, Fallout Superstar, to the cast and are assembling key creative team and believe Natalie would be an ideal collaborator. Her work on Blackbird and Shapeless deeply impressed me. The way she builds emotion, tension, and intimacy through lensing is exactly what this story demands. Would Natalie be open to reading the script and taking a meeting? I'd love to share more materials, including pitch deck and lookbook, if she's at all intrigued. Cool. Let's send it. Let's see what happens. You never know unless you try. Hey guys, so I've been doing a ton of research on different DPs and different movies, and as I told you earlier, I reached out to one DP through her agent, and I actually reached out through Instagram as well, so let's see if she replies back. So the next thing I have to do is I have a bunch of movies that I need to watch, and although I won't watch them all the way through, I'll watch, well, maybe I will, but basically I've got a short list of DPs and films that I now need to go and watch and make a gazillion notes, and then tomorrow we can kind of continue on the search for a DP. And if you're wondering why I don't already have an established relationship with a DP, it's kind of weird because I've obviously created a lot of things over the last 15, 20 years, but the reality is I've DP'd nearly everything I've ever made. And the reason being is that when I started making stuff, I found it frustrating working with DPs and cinematographers that weren't yet at a certain level. because by the time I explained to a DP what I wanted, it was quicker for me to just set up the lights and get it done. Now, that's not going to fly with Scissor Mouth. Basically, Scissor Mouth is 10 times the budget of anything I've worked on before, and we're dealing with, stars, famous people, and this is a multi-million-dollar film. So I need to make sure that I establish a relationship with the DP that can, deliver the visual fidelity that we need on a project of this size. So that's the reason for the search for a DP. So I'm gonna go. Cookie and I are gonna go sit on the couch and watch a bunch of movies now, and I will report back tomorrow with notes. So guys, you know what to do. If you like this long form content, please click in the circle up here to subscribe. Leave a 5-star review down below. Please smash that like button. It really helps us creators out. And I will see you all tomorrow for more film development hell. Peace.